Hello, how are you? I hope you are all fine. Are you all doing well? So let's start the today video. In this video, we talk about the gangster Carlo Gambino, the rise of mafia legend. Carlo Gambino, one of the most powerful and famous mafia bosses in American history. His life story is one filled with cunning, patience, and quiet but steady rise to the top of the criminal world. Though he was often feared, he was also respected for his intelligence and ability to avoid the spotlight while controlling one of the biggest crime families in United States. Carlo Gambino was born on August 24, 1902 in Palermo, Sicily, which is an island in Italy. His family was involved in a Sicilian mafia, which was a big part of his life in Sicily at the time. From a young age, Gambino learned the rules of mafia, which focused on loyalty, secrecy, and respect. He grew up in a world where the mafia was powerful and quickly adopted to its ways. By the time he was a teenager, Gambino had already begun to participate in criminal activities. He was smart and careful, which helped him avoid trouble with the law. However, as World War I ended, Italy became harder for the mafia to operate in, and many families began to leave for the United States, where they could make more money. At the age of 19, Carlo Gambino moved to New York City. He came as an illegal immigrant sneaking into the country on a ship. New York was a city filled with opportunity, especially for those willing to engage in illegal activities. The mafia had already established itself in New York, and Gambino quickly became involved with a gang led by a man named Maserio, one of the most powerful mafia bosses in the city. Gambino quickly proved himself to be a valuable member of the gang. He was smart, quiet, and able to get things done without attracting too much attention. Over time, he gained the trust of the higher ups in the organization. Even at a young age, Gambino showed he had a special talent for staying under the radar while making smart moves. In the 1920s, New York Mafia was torn apart by a violent war known as the Castle Marciano War. The conflict was between two powerful mafia bosses, Joe Masseria and Salvatore Maranzano. There was lasted for many years and led to the deaths of many mafia members. Gambino was loyal to Masseria at first, but as the war dragged on, he realized Maranzano might have the upper hand. Gambino, being smart and strategic, eventually switched sides. He joined Focus with Maranzano, which turned out be the right decision. In 1931, Maranzano killed Joe Masseria, ending the war. Maranzano declared himself the boss of all bosses of the mafia in New York. However, Salvatore Maranzano did not last long. A young and ambitious gangster named Luciano, who had helped Maranzano in the war, decided that having one boss of all bosses was not a good idea. Luciano believed in a different way of running the mafia, where power would be shared among the heads of different crime families. instead of being controlled by one man. In September 1931, Marzano was killed by Luciano's orders, and the modern structure of the American Mafia was born. Instead, one of both, there would now be five major crime families in New York, each controlling their own territory. This system became known as the Commission, and it helped maintain peace between the family. Gambino was aligned with Luciano and benefited from these changes and continued to rise through the ranks of the mafia, slowly building his power. He understood that to succeed, you had to be patient and make the right alliances. Over the next few decades, Carlo played a key role in the New York underworld. He became a powerful figure within the mafia but was careful never to attract too much attention to himself. Unlike many other mafia bosses, Gambino avoided flashy display of wealth or violence. He preferred to operate in the shadow, pulling strings behind the scenes. Gambino's approach was simple but effective. He believed in making money and avoiding unnecessary conflict. This allowed him to grow his power steadily over time. While other mafia bosses were getting killed or arrested, Gambino was quietly expanded his influences, becoming the boss. By the 1950s, Gambino was one of the most respected members of the mafia. In 1957, the boss of his crime family, Albert Anastasia, was killed in a barber shop. It's widely believed that Gambino was behind the hit, though he always denied it. With Anastasia out of the way, Gambino became the head of what would later be known as the Gambino crime family. At the boss, Gambino controlled a large portion of New York illegal activities, including gambling, loan sharking, and labor racketeering. He was also had strong connection with politicians and law enforcement, which helped protect him and his organization from serious legal trouble. Gambino was the master at avoiding attention. While other crime bosses were often in the news, Gambino remained a mysterious figure. He was careful never to appear too powerful, which helped him avoid being targeted by the government. One of the biggest challenges Gambino faced as the head of the family was the so-called Banana War. In the early 1960s, Joe Bonanno and other powerful mafia bosses tried to take control of the commission and became the new boss of all bosses. This led to a power struggle within the mafia. Gambino, who preferred peace and stability, worked behind the scenes to stop Bonanno. He used his connection and alliances to isolate him and eventually forced him into retirement. Once again, Gambino had shown his ability to manage conflict without getting directly involved. Unlike many mafia bosses who met violent ends, Carlo Gambino died peacefully in his home on October 15, 1976, at the age of 74. He had managed to lead one of the most powerful crime families in the country for nearly 20 years without ever being convicted of a serious crime. His death marked the end of an era for the mafia, and his name remains legendary in the world of organized crime. Gambino's success came from his intelligence, patience, and ability to avoid the mistake that other mafia bosses made. While many of his competitors were obsessed with power and wealth, Gambino understood that true power came from staying out of spotlight and making smart decisions. Legacy. Even after his death, the Gambino crime family remained one of the most powerful in New York. Many Gambino footsteps, but few could match his level of success or his ability to avoid the law. His name becomes synonymous with the idea of quiet but powerful leader, and his life story continues to fascinate people to this day. In the end, Carlo Gambino was a man who understood the importance of patience, loyalty, and strategy. He built a criminal empire by playing the long game and outsmarting his rivals, proving that sometimes the most powerful people are the ones who operate in the shadows. If you like the biography of Carlo Gambino, please like this video and also share the video, and the most important thing, please subscribe this channel. Thank you so much.